What's up, everybody? It's Mons here. I just want to talk about one very simple idea, which is so crucial to our success, and that is that the most damaging thing that can happen to us is getting caught up in what other people think about ourselves. This might sound very basic to you. I think we all have experienced that we get caught up in what the perception of that other people have of us, and then down the road, 2 or 3 years, we come to the term that it was not that important, and it seemed very important to us. We were very dependent that these people liked us and appreciated us. But now we're grown up, we see what they become, and we kind of value their point less. But still, when concerned with major life decisions, we tend to put so much weight on these people's opinion, even though we know that normally we wouldn't value them. If somebody would say, I really hate what you've become, and we are happy with that, we just dismiss it. But if somebody warns us and says, I'm very dreadful for what you will become, I think you're going the wrong path, we somehow give that more weight. But why shouldn't we? That makes no sense. And I think a key concept to establish against it is being unapologetically oneself. That means to stand up for what one does and what one believes in, not today, not just tomorrow, but for 6 years. Talking about quitting, for example, I just quit college and I want to become a writer, and I'm going to focus on this and keep this decision with me, not just today, but maybe for 6 years down the road. And there comes a very important second concept, that is, I don't have to prove myself to anybody. You don't decide whether I'm a failure or not. That's up to me to decide. See, and if you change this perception, change the perception that everybody else has the right to judge you, but you can't have the right opinion about yourself, to say, I have the right opinion of myself. I want to do what I know is right. And everybody else, they don't know me. They don't know what I'm up to, and they're just projecting their own anxieties onto me, so I don't have to prove myself to anybody. And this can be a harsh concept, and I see people in the comments saying, well, if you exaggerate that concept, then you would shut yourself off of sound advice. And that is true. Some advice may be sound, and they may be very sound, and you should still ignore it if it contradicts what you think deep down in your heart. For example, I was in my junior year, I had 1 year to go. And I said, no, I don't want a college degree. I don't want to have this plan B where I can always default on my mom getting in my ear and somebody getting on my nerve, and I just take a job for a half a year, I tell myself, and then I never end up doing what I want. So that was actually an actual decision to say, no, I don't want to have a college degree because I don't want to have this burden to have made sort of a commitment in a way I'm not interested in anymore. And so if somebody now turns this and says, well, you're very unresponsible for doing this, even though I know this is true, and people have raised sound advice to me and said, well, it's just 1 more year. What have you got to lose? Why are you giving up so much time, and now you have nothing? And what do you want to do then for a living? How will you support yourself? Who will pay for your expenses? Or so many people try to be writers, so many people try to do things with words, and that's a breadless art, as they say in Germany. And why are you doing this? Have you really planned it through? All these very sound advice at first still contradict what I feel in my heart. And this is when I really think about some concept I relate to Emerson, where he said that everything that you encounter in your life, I think this was in Self-Reliance, everything you encounter in your life is kind of, when it resonates with you, it kind of has a special power. And, sorry, that's my cat. She's very annoying sometimes. It has a special power and resonates with you in this particular way in where something else can't. So to just grab a concept out of my own life, I'm gotten very attracted to the art of a German poet called Paul Celan. I'll link into the description. You should check him out, definitely. And this kind of, I have an intuitive liking for this, and I'm drawn to this particular thing, and it kind of it becomes a concept of myself and what I like and what I don't. And this, I think, is relevant when we just ask ourselves in love relationships, but especially in work, have I been drawn to this naturally? Has there been a different layer why I wanted this thing? Have I wanted this girl because of the way she looks? Have I wanted this boy because of the social status he has? Have I wanted a certain college degree just to be safe or to do whatever X then comes? And you see, if you reason this way, it's all very sound, but it's not like it is imprinted on you the way a passion is, the way a real love relationship is, something where you don't have to give yourself reasons because it's so obvious to you that you resonate, or you resonate on a deeper layer, which is much more intuitive. And I think all this, to wrap this video up, comes down to this, in cultivating this intuitive sense of what you are, and then defending it against other people's sound advice, and being very unapologetic about who you are, and to not be afraid to have nothing to show for 6 years, for 10 years, for 20 years. That's how a lot of people, great people we all admire, especially some writers and philosophers, have lived, unappreciated, ununderstood. Herman Melville, just to name one example, for the best part of his life, he's been unappreciated. Moby Dick, one of his major efforts, was not critically esteemed at all. And, you know, people who tend up doing boring stuff or not fulfilling their life's goals, they all have this tendency to be very anxious and be very out there in their mind about what other people think, and catching up what they think and feel about the world, and kind of matching their own truth onto that. And if you don't, then you always stand on the outer edges of social acceptance. And sometimes there's a shift and turn, and the spectrum kind of goes to in your way, and then you're very popular and whatever. But if it don't, then you should be comfortable with it, because living your passion just always has this extra little thing where it could mean that, you know, they might not like it. They might not be interested. There might be a shift away from you to something else. But if you can if you can keep being true to yourself, unapologetically accepting what comes up from here, from your intuition, then I think there will always be this match between you and another person that is very powerful. And it's all an artist could ever strive to do, just be this perfect connection with somebody who feels exactly the way you do for 1 second. And yeah, that's just it. I hope you like it. Comment, share, and subscribe if you like my stuff. And I'll be dedicated to putting out more in the future. Thank you.